Namaste everyone, my name is Krishna Chaitanya Dasi and today I'll be doing a cooking demonstration. The theme is Korean, so it's going to be a little bit spicy, but I have toned down the spice a little bit, and with these ingredients and recipes you can vary the degrees of sweetness, of chili and of salty flavors, so you can reduce it to your own liking. First up, we're going to do the carrot and Daikon radish kimchi. So I've got this is what the Daikon radish looks like. It is also called a lombok, and the lomboks are actually much bigger, but these are the ones that you can get at the Asian groceries, which is more cheaper than at Coles or Woolies. And you can also get them at the West End markets or at your local markets, and just any carrot. What we're going to do is we're going to slice them up. So I've got this cool funky little knife. It's got this crinkly teeth, and it gives you like a crinkle cut with for the vegetables. And so I'm going to show you, well obviously if you don't have this knife you can just use a normal knife, but what you can do is, how I normally cut it is, I'll use this first. Just cut it into really small size, just like that. And that would make things easy for you when you use this one. And what you can do is go like this, cut it down, and you can see it's quite sharp. Okay, and that gives you, it's like a crinkly cut. And then from there, all I do is I just go slice that. Okay, if you don't have this kind of knife, that's okay. I actually got this in Vietnam, and I brought a few back as gifts for people, for some of my girlfriends. If you don't have one, just use a normal knife. Cut it in about just small chunks, not big chunks. And remember, when you're using the knife, keep your fingers tucked in, because we don't want any bloody meals. I'm so sorry. Anyway, okay, so so to cut this with a normal knife, all you need to do is just keep your fingers tucked in, keep the blade close to it, and just take it nice and easy, so you've got a good grip on the knife. Yeah, okay, and that's like that. And then the carrot, you do the same thing. Okay, so just chop it in about, this would be about 2.5 centimeters to about 3 centimeters in length. And again, you just do that, and then just cut it the other way like this one. So I'm going to put this aside because I've already prepared this. And once you've cut it all up, I've used about 5 to 6. If you're using small to medium size, and just use 5 or 6 depending. And again, if you want more carrots portion compared to the white radish, because it's actually quite strong, then you can have more carrots and less of the Daikon radish. Entirely up to you. And so that's it. So basically you put about 6 tablespoons of salt in here. Just cover it really nicely, mix it up really well so that it's all coated. And what this does, it actually softens the radish. And this has been left for about a little over an hour, and you can see it's quite wilted. The important thing now, after we've done this, is that we have to rinse it really well under running water and squeeze the excess juice of this salt out. So I'm going to do that behind here. And so just, yeah, make sure you do a really good job with this. So I'm just going to put this in here. So if you use a pink Himalayan salt, it's not as salty as the plain iodized salt. Okay, so we've rinsed this really well now, and then what you need to do is just get your handful like this and And see how I can still squeeze the excess water out? That's the excess salt from there. So just do a really thorough job with this, because otherwise, if you don't rinse properly and you don't squeeze it all out, your radish kimchi would be really salty. And just continue to do that for all of it. Okay, so here we've rinsed out the excess water and salt. So as you can see, it's nice and dry, and this is the consistency that we want. So there's no excess water left here whatsoever. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to put all of this aside because we don't need it anymore. With the garlic, so for those, garlic, the easiest way, if you don't have a garlic crusher, just get your hand on top of the blade, press it down, and easy way to get your garlic out. I use the little garlic. You can, it requires about 12 cloves, but as you can see, this really small cloves. So if you use the big garlic cloves, then just do half, which is about 6. And if you're not a fan of garlic, then you can actually even reduce it more if you wanted to. And to chop, just like that. So it's easy, you just hold one end and just use this other end, up and down, up and down. And you have your nice minced garlic. Just mince it a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to combine all of these ingredients into this bowl. We're going to mix it first before we put it in there. So as you can see, this recipe is so basic, so simple. Anyone can do it. Just follow the instructions, because I've really simplified this recipe. I came across Korean food when I was traveling through Vietnam, and very much a Korean influence over there, and that's how I started to eat a lot more Korean food and started to actually have a liking for Korean. So here's the sugar. There's about 6 to 7 tablespoons of sugar in here. You can use brown sugar. I use brown sugar as well. So you just put that, and then there's about 4 tablespoons of the Korean chili powder for the kimchi, specifically for kimchi. And there are, when you buy the Korean powder, just have a look at the packaging, have a look at the ingredients, because some of it mixes with other stuff. This is 100% chili that they use. The chili powder you can get, I buy it at, you can buy it at any Korean supermarket, or you can buy it at Ewan's. Ewan's is at Sunnybank at Fortitude Valley, and so you can buy it there. And there's a Korean supermarket just close to my home, which is across from the Mater Hospital. So there's one there, and that's it. So all you have to do is whisk it up. And if you find that it's a bit too dry, you can add more soy in, but this is fine. Okay, so up. Now, this is the spring onions. We use about a small bunch of spring onions. If you don't like spring onions, just use half. And again, just put this in here. Now with the stalk, what you can do is, how you cut it is just slice it like that, okay? And then just put it in. Or if you like it chunky, just cut it straight down into thirds. You don't have to, just straight down the middle, put it in. Or some people like it whole. I find it too strong, because these the white part is actually quite thick, so I like to make it smaller. I'm just mixed the shallots in here, and as you can see, the sugar's melted, and you can see the consistency. It's quite moist. So that's a consistency that you want. But like I said, if it doesn't need to be runnier than this, because otherwise it just gets too soggy. So all we need to do now is, once we've mixed this well, we're going to add it together with this bowl. And it's really, I just love the colors in kimchi. I'm not much of a sugar fan, but there are some things like kimchi that you just have to use sugar for. There's alternatives which you can use to sugar, and that's fruits like apples. But I find that if you put apples in there to get the sweetness, the kimchi actually doesn't last as long in the fridge. You have to eat it up within a week pretty much. Okay, so make sure you wear gloves to do this. Okay, so just mix it through. So look at the colors here. Just mix it through. My husband doesn't like spicy food, whereas I do. So as you can see, I've toned this down quite a lot, and use your hands and just really get in there. And you can smell all the flavors seeping through. Just gonna get this, because I don't like wastage. Just get it out. Like that. Mix it through. This is how it looks. So pretty, the colors so vibrant. It's got a mixture of green, red, orange, white. That's it. And you don't want it any runnier than this, okay? And then we're gonna put in a jar. So with the jar, it's airtight. Make sure that you do wash it in hot water so that there's no contamination of the jar. And then all we do is plonk it in. Plonk. Not very chef-like terminology, but we'll plonk it in. I like to eat this with noodles when I'm I love having these side dishes in the fridge just ready to go, because you can have it with rice, you can have it with pretty much anything. Kimchi is really good for gut health, helps with the digestion. So it's okay to have spicy food every now and then. Okay. Look at that. You've got a beautiful jar of kimchi. Seal it up. How's that? There you go, seal it up, put it in the fridge, take it out whenever. This will be ready in about 2 days for you to have. If you can't wait, go for it the next day. It's all good. But yeah, 2 days and the flavor should seep through very thoroughly. And yeah, just have it with everything. I have it with rice, I have it with noodles, I have it as a side dish. So it's a really good accompaniment for your meals. So I hope you enjoy this recipe, and please leave comments if you do make it, take photos, please share it with us because it inspires us to do more. Namaste.